Have you ever noticed the atmosphere of a date becoming dull and awkward? Forced smiles, hollow praise, and insincere politeness can take over. This isn't the shyness of a teenage girl. It's the harsh reality that she doesn't like you but is trying to hide it. I've experienced this firsthand, mistaking a superficial display of kindness for a genuine connection, only to later uncover her true feelings of disinterest. It's a painful realization, but recognizing these subtle signs is crucial to avoid investing time and energy into a relationship that isn't genuine. In today's video, we'll share 7 signs that she dislikes you and is hiding it. While this topic may not be fun, it can help you avoid staying in a relationship that drains your time and emotions. Understanding these signs can save you from further hurt and help you move forward. Let's dive in. Number 1. Persistent jokes at your expense. Have you noticed that she often makes jokes at your expense under the guise of playful teasing? These jokes might highlight your quirks, mistakes, or perceived flaws. While they may seem harmless initially, they often mask deeper intentions. In a relationship, humor should bring joy and connection, not chip away at your self-esteem. If she persistently jokes about your shortcomings, whether it's about your appearance, communication style, or professional ambitions, it's worth questioning her motives. I've been in a relationship where this dynamic unfolded. At first, I brushed off her jokes as harmless banter. But over time, I noticed a pattern. The humor always targeted my insecurities while conveniently ignoring my strengths. This gradually eroded my confidence, making me question if my flaws were as glaring as she implied. Jokes like these are not expressions of love or affection. They're subtle tests of how much disrespect you'll tolerate. It's a way for her to assert control or dominance cloaked in humor to deflect accountability. This behavior often leaves you conflicted. Society tells men that reacting to teasing makes them overly sensitive, but tolerating such jokes only enables the behavior to continue. It's crucial to assert your boundaries and challenge the notion that accepting disrespect is a sign of strength. Being in a relationship means you deserve someone who uplifts and supports you, not someone who belittles you for a cheap laugh. True affection lies in celebrating your strengths and constructively addressing your weaknesses, never in mocking them. I've seen how tolerating this behavior sets a dangerous precedent. When you laugh along, you inadvertently give her permission to continue. Over time, these seemingly small comments can escalate, leaving you with diminished self-confidence. Once I recognized this pattern, I decided to push back. I directly addressed the jokes, expressing how they made me feel. It was uncomfortable, but it shifted the dynamic and helped me reclaim control over my self-worth. If she genuinely cares about you, she will respect your boundaries and adjust her behavior. If not, it's a sign of deeper issues within the relationship. When her humor consistently targets your insecurities, ask yourself if it's truly playful or a veiled attempt to undermine you. If it's the latter, address it directly, even if it risks confrontation. Your self-respect is worth more than preserving false harmony. Life is too short to spend with someone who diminishes you. Seek a partner who values and supports you without resorting to veiled criticisms. Number 2. Cutting compliments. Does she often give compliments that leave you questioning their sincerity? These backhanded compliments, praise laced with subtle criticism, can be a clever way to undermine your confidence while maintaining the appearance of kindness. For instance, she might say, "You're surprisingly good at this considering your background." While it seems positive on the surface, the subtle jab is unmistakable. In a relationship, compliments should build you up, not leave you doubting yourself. Backhanded compliments often reflect insecurity on her part. By subtly putting you down, she maintains a sense of superiority, ensuring you don't surpass her in some way. These remarks are not about encouraging you, but about asserting dominance while disguising it as praise. I've experienced this firsthand. When I achieved something I was proud of, she would offer comments like, "That's impressive for someone like you." While I initially dismissed them, they left a lingering sting, making me wonder if she truly believed in me. Over time, I realized this behavior wasn't accidental. It was a way to maintain control in the relationship by keeping me unsure of my own capabilities. The key to addressing these cutting compliments is recognizing them for what they are: projections of her insecurities, not reflections of your worth. When she makes such comments, Don't passively accept them. A simple response like, "What do you mean by that?" forces her to confront the hidden insult and reconsider her approach. This shift in dynamic helps you assert your self-worth and discourages further veiled negativity. Relationships thrive on mutual respect and genuine appreciation. If her words consistently create self-doubt, it's essential to reflect on the relationship's health. You deserve someone who celebrates your achievements sincerely, not someone who diminishes them to maintain their own confidence. Does the girl you like show either of the two signs mentioned above? If not, congratulations for now. But we still have 5 more signs to share. Stay tuned, and don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel if you're interested in topics like this. Thank you. Number 3. Deliberate exclusion. Have you ever noticed that she seems to deliberately exclude you from her plans or social activities, often offering weak or vague excuses? Perhaps she forgot to invite you to a gathering with her friends, or claimed she assumed you wouldn't be interested. While these instances might initially appear minor or accidental, they often hint at a deeper issue, subtle signs of disinterest, emotional distancing, or even a lack of respect for your role in her life. In a healthy and thriving relationship, inclusion is a natural expectation. A partner who truly values you will involve you in her world, seeking to share experiences and build a life together. When you find out she's been making plans without your knowledge, whether through social media posts or casual mentions during a conversation, it's a clear red flag. The excuses she gives, such as last-minute planning or assumptions about your availability, often feel insincere. The reality is, if she genuinely wanted you there, she would have made an effort to include you, regardless of the circumstances. Deliberate exclusion often serves as a passive-aggressive strategy to create distance without directly addressing relationship issues. Instead of confronting her feelings or openly discussing the state of the relationship, she opts for subtle exclusion, hoping you'll quietly accept being left out or even begin to pull away on your own. This avoidance tactic can be emotionally draining and confusing, leaving you questioning your worth and role in her life. However, tolerating this behavior only reinforces the pattern, signaling that you're willing to accept being sidelined. I've been in this position before. Initially, I convinced myself that her exclusions were accidental or circumstantial. I rationalized her behavior, thinking that maybe I truly wasn't available or that the plans were made in haste. But over time, it became clear that my silence was being interpreted as tacit approval. My failure to address the issue head-on allowed the dynamic to persist, with each exclusion chipping away at my sense of belonging in the relationship. Eventually, I chose to confront the situation. I asked her directly, "Why wasn't I invited?" The conversation wasn't easy. It was awkward and uncomfortable, as I had to face the possibility that her behavior reflected deeper problems. However, it was necessary. Addressing the issue forced her to acknowledge her actions and the impact they were having on me. It also allowed me to establish boundaries and clarify my expectations for how I wanted to be treated. Whether or not the relationship ultimately worked out, taking a stand for myself improved my self-respect and confidence. If you notice a recurring pattern of exclusion, it's crucial to reassess your relationship. A true partner will prioritize your presence and make an effort to include you, regardless of how spontaneous or informal plans might be. Avoiding confrontation only enables her behavior and perpetuates feelings of neglect. By addressing the issue directly, you reclaim control over your role in the relationship and set the standard for how you deserve to be treated. Remember, you deserve to be with someone who values your company and actively includes you in their life. Relationships thrive on mutual respect, shared experiences, and a sense of partnership. Don't allow yourself to become an afterthought in someone else's world. Surround yourself with people who celebrate and cherish your presence, as they are the ones who truly deserve a place in your life. Number 4. The busy excuse. The phrase "I'm so busy" has become a ubiquitous refrain, often serving as a convenient excuse for avoiding social interactions. However, what happens when you observe a pattern of selective busyness? They readily make time for others, documenting their social activities, yet remain perpetually unavailable when it comes to spending time with you. The uncomfortable truth is that they're not genuinely too busy, they're simply not prioritizing you. I've experienced this frustrating dynamic repeatedly, attempting to schedule time with a former friend, only to be met with a barrage of excuses regarding work commitments and a full schedule. Meanwhile, I'd observe their active social life with others, clearly demonstrating their capacity to find time for those they deem important. The message was unmistakable. I was no longer a priority in their life. The problem lies in our societal conditioning to accept busyness as a legitimate reason for being pushed aside. However, it's essential to recognize that people make time for what truly matters to them. Consistent unavailability is not about a demanding schedule, it's a reflection of their priorities. This can be a difficult truth to confront, as it forces you to acknowledge that you may not hold the same level of importance to them as they do to you. Often, the busy excuse is simply a polite way of conveying disinterest in spending time with you. It's easier to blame a demanding schedule than to admit to actively choosing not to include you in their life. It's a passive-aggressive tactic for maintaining distance without the discomfort of direct confrontation. They keep you at arm's length, offering just enough contact to maintain a superficial connection without genuinely investing in the relationship. I've experienced both sides of this dynamic, having used the busy excuse myself in the past when I was unsure how to communicate that a friendship had run its course. However, being on the receiving end of this behavior provided a valuable lesson. Honesty, even when uncomfortable, is far more respectful than offering empty excuses. When I finally confronted a friend about their selective busyness, the conversation was undeniably awkward, but it provided the clarity I needed to move on and invest my time and energy in relationships where my presence was genuinely valued. The key takeaway is to respect your own time and energy. Don't waste them on individuals who consistently demonstrate a lack of reciprocity. Persistent unavailability is a clear signal that it's time to reevaluate the relationship. You deserve to be surrounded by individuals who genuinely enjoy your company and actively seek out opportunities to spend time with you, not just when it's convenient for them. It's also important to acknowledge that relationships evolve, and sometimes we hold on to faded connections out of habit, nostalgia, or a fear of being alone. However, there's strength in recognizing when a relationship has run its course and choosing to let go. Acknowledging that you deserve more than someone's leftover time is not a sign of neediness, it's an act of self-respect. Number 5. Physical avoidance. Let's discuss an often overlooked aspect of social interaction, physical contact, or more specifically, the deliberate avoidance of it. Outside the context of romantic relationships, physical touch is a fundamental form of human connection, conveying trust, warmth, and affiliation. So, what does it signify when someone consistently avoids even the most casual forms of physical contact? It's a clear indication of discomfort and a signal worth heeding. I recall a former colleague who seemed to visibly recoil whenever I extended a hand for a handshake or offered a friendly pat on the back. Initially, I questioned whether I was misinterpreting their behavior, but I soon observed that they readily engaged in physical touch with others, suggesting that their avoidance was directed specifically towards me. It became apparent that this aversion to physical contact wasn't merely a personal quirk, it was a deliberate strategy for maintaining distance. The controversial aspect of this is that physical contact is a natural and often subconscious element of human interaction. When someone consistently avoids it, they're communicating a lack of comfort or connection. While some individuals may genuinely prefer less physical contact, selective avoidance towards specific individuals raises a red flag. If they readily hug or touch others but stiffen or recoil when you approach, it suggests an underlying issue within the relationship. They may not harbor explicit dislike, but their body language speaks volumes. We've likely all experienced both sides of this dynamic. Perhaps you've instinctively avoided contact with someone due to a lack of rapport, or perhaps you've been on the receiving end of this avoidance, left wondering why someone seems to flinch at your approach. It's an undeniably awkward and uncomfortable situation, often indicative of a weaker bond than you might perceive. The underlying truth is that physical touch is an essential component of human connection. It's a way of expressing trust, warmth, and empathy. When someone consistently avoids physical contact with you, they're not simply rejecting touch, they're distancing themselves from closeness, intimacy, and vulnerability. They're maintaining a distance both literally and figuratively, and this behavior often signals a deeper issue within the relationship. I've learned to pay close attention to these nonverbal cues, even when acknowledging their implications is difficult. I previously dismissed such avoidance as a mere personality quirk, but upon reflection, I realized it often reflected a deeper disconnect within the relationship itself. Confronting these situations, though challenging, ultimately led to greater clarity and, in some cases, the necessary but difficult decision to end the relationship. The key message here is to pay attention to nonverbal cues. Don't ignore or dismiss someone's consistent avoidance of physical contact. It's not simply a matter of personal preference, it's a statement about their comfort level and sense of connection with you. If you observe this pattern, don't hesitate to address it directly. Doing so may lead to a deeper understanding of the underlying issues or reveal that the relationship is not as strong as you believed. Regardless of the outcome, confronting the truth, however uncomfortable, is always more empowering than living in denial. Remember, you deserve to be in relationships where physical contact, whether a friendly hug, a handshake, or simply sitting in close proximity, occurs naturally and comfortably. These seemingly small gestures are crucial for building trust and connection. If someone constantly avoids them, it's a clear indication that something isn't right within the relationship. Don't shy away from asking the difficult questions and, if necessary, making the difficult decisions that prioritize your own well-being. Life is too short to be surrounded by those who, both literally and figuratively, keep you at arm's length. Number 6. Disappearing acts during difficult times. The true nature of a relationship is often revealed during times of adversity. When challenges arise, you discover who your genuine friends are. So, what does it signify when someone vanishes the moment you need support? It's not simply a matter of flakiness, it's a clear indication that they're not as invested in the relationship as you may have believed. Furthermore, disappearing during your darkest hours can feel like a profound betrayal. I learned this lesson firsthand during a particularly challenging period in my life. Faced with a significant personal issue that left me feeling vulnerable and shaken, I naturally reached out to those I considered close friends, expecting some level of support, even if it was just a brief text message or phone call. However, I was met with an unsettling silence. The individuals I thought would be there for me suddenly became elusive, offering a variety of excuses: overwhelming work commitments, pressing personal matters, promises to check in later that never materialized. The uncomfortable truth is that many people are quick to offer assurances of unwavering support, but conveniently disappear when their words are put to the test. They're happy to share in your celebrations, laughter, and triumphs, but when confronted with your pain or discomfort, they become distant and elusive. It's easier for them to avoid you entirely than to navigate the complexities of offering support. Ultimately, their absence reveals a lack of genuine care. They simply don't feel invested enough to be present when you need them most. Genuine support isn't about convenience, it's about showing up for someone when it's difficult, uncomfortable, and perhaps the last thing you want to do. Those who disappear during your times of need are not simply being inconsiderate. They're demonstrating where you stand in their hierarchy of priorities. Their absence communicates, without words, that your problems are not worth their time or attention. The realization that those I had supported through their own breakups, family crises, and career setbacks couldn't reciprocate during my time of need was deeply disheartening. It was a harsh but valuable lesson. Not everyone who offers a friendly smile is genuinely invested in your well-being. The underlying message is that genuine support is a cornerstone of any meaningful relationship. It's easy to be present during times of joy and celebration, but the true strength of a bond is revealed in how individuals respond when faced with adversity. If someone consistently disappears when you need them most, they're not just failing to support you, they're demonstrating that they were never truly present in the first place. However, don't allow their absence to breed bitterness or resentment. Instead, use it as a valuable tool for discerning which relationships are truly worth investing in. Those who remain present, offer support, and check in on you even when it's inconvenient are the individuals who truly matter. Nurture and cherish those relationships. As for those who disappear when you need them most, release them. They've revealed their true colors, and their absence creates space for more authentic and supportive connections. Life is too short to invest in fair-weather friends. Prioritize relationships with those who will stand by you through the storms, not just bask with you in the sunshine. Discovering those rare individuals who remain steadfast during your darkest hours is a true treasure. Number 7. Whispers behind your back. Gossip, the insidious social poison, spreads like wildfire, rapidly consuming reputations and eroding relationships. It's never as harmless or innocent as those who engage in it would have you believe. When someone you consider a friend speaks about you behind your back, they're not simply sharing an anecdote. They're actively betraying your trust, undermining your reputation, and damaging the foundation of your relationship. Frankly, engaging in gossip about you is a clear indicator of their lack of respect, regardless of how friendly they may appear to your face. I've personally experienced the gut-wrenching pain of being the subject of gossip. I once confided in someone I considered a close friend, sharing a personal issue that I needed to process and release. I trusted them explicitly to maintain confidentiality. However, within days, distorted and exaggerated versions of my private conversation began circulating within our social circle. It was as if my vulnerability had been weaponized, transformed into a source of entertainment for others. The difficult truth is that those who gossip about you are not motivated by genuine concern or a desire to vent. They are engaging in a calculated power play. Gossip is a tool for self-elevation at your expense, allowing them to feel superior without the risk of direct confrontation. It's a cowardly, manipulative, and ultimately toxic behavior that erodes not only your reputation, but also the fundamental trust upon which all meaningful relationships are built. And let's be clear, those who readily gossip about others to you are highly likely to gossip about you to others. It's a behavioral pattern, not an isolated incident. I've witnessed this dynamic countless times. Someone eager to share the latest gossip suddenly becomes tight-lipped in your presence. It's a safe bet that you become the subject of their gossip when you're not around. This is a particularly painful form of betrayal, as it occurs in secret, denying you the opportunity to defend yourself or even know what's being said about you. When I confronted the friend who had betrayed my confidence, expecting an apology, or at least an acknowledgement of their wrongdoing, they responded with dismissive indifference, characterizing it as harmless chatter. However, gossip is never harmless. It's a fundamental breach of trust, and it reveals far more about the character of the gossiper than it does about the person being gossiped about. It thrives in the shadows of secrecy and thrives on manipulation, causing irreparable damage to reputations and relationships. Be wary of those who readily engage in gossip. They are unlikely to hesitate in making you the target of their next conversation. True friends safeguard your confidence, never betraying your trust for social currency. Choose your confidants carefully and prioritize those who demonstrate genuine loyalty and respect. So, what should you do? Realizing that she dislikes you but is trying to hide it can be a tough pill to swallow. It's uncomfortable, often painful, but it's also a pivotal moment that demands careful thought and action. How you respond to this realization can determine your emotional well-being and the direction of the relationship, or whether it's worth pursuing at all. The key is to approach the situation with self-respect, clarity, and emotional intelligence. The first step is to acknowledge the situation for what it is. Denial will only prolong the inevitable and make the emotional impact worse down the road. It's tempting to ignore the signs, forced smiles, insincere politeness, and a lack of genuine effort, but doing so often leads to wasted time and energy. Instead, face the reality that her feelings may not align with yours. This isn't a reflection of your worth, it's simply an indication of mismatched emotions or priorities. Once you've accepted the truth, the next step is to observe her behavior objectively. Ask yourself, is this a temporary issue, or is it a deeper, consistent pattern? Sometimes people mask their feelings out of fear of confrontation, discomfort, or uncertainty about their own emotions. If her behavior has been recent or situational, it might be worth exploring the root cause. However, if her disinterest has been ongoing and deliberate, it's likely a sign that the relationship isn't viable. When you feel ready, address the situation directly and honestly. Communication is essential in relationships, and this is no exception. Approach her with calmness and openness, expressing your observations without accusations. You might say something like, "I've noticed that things feel a little off between us, and I want to understand how you're feeling." This gives her the opportunity to share her perspective and either confirm your suspicions or clarify any misunderstandings. Listening to her response is just as important as speaking up. If she admits to her feelings or gives vague, dismissive answers, it's a clear indication that she might be unwilling to invest in the relationship. While her honesty may sting, it's better to know where you stand than to remain in limbo. On the other hand, if she opens up about personal struggles or external stressors that have influenced her behavior, there might still be room to work things out. Regardless of the outcome, prioritize your self-respect. If she confirms her lack of interest or continues to display signs of disinterest, it's crucial to let go. Staying in a relationship where you're not valued or appreciated will only erode your confidence and happiness. Focus instead on finding someone who genuinely reciprocates your feelings and effort. Ultimately, recognizing that she dislikes you and is hiding it is an opportunity to grow. It's a chance to set boundaries, improve your emotional awareness, and seek relationships built on mutual respect and authenticity. While the truth might hurt in the moment, it paves the way for healthier connections and personal growth in the future. And those are the 7 signs that she doesn't like you. Gentlemen, sometimes we have to accept the truth, even when it's bitter. What do you think about these signs? If you agree, give us a like and subscribe to our channel as a show of support. If you disagree, feel free to comment below and let's discuss it together as a community. But that's not all. Up next, we'll reveal 12 harshest truths about women that men learn too late. Could these truths be the reasons she doesn't like you? Or perhaps you've unknowingly crossed one of her boundaries? Let's find out together. Number 1. Lust or pity. Look, the fact is that women will show attention to men that they lust and desire, or men that they pity and feel bad for. Firstly, let's explore the notion of lust. This is where a woman is genuinely attracted to a man, driven by a deep-seated desire. This attraction is not just about physical looks. It often stems from the man's confidence, charisma, and the ability to engage her interest. It's about that spark, the chemistry that says, "There's something here worth exploring." When a woman lusts after a man, she sees him as a potential romantic partner. On the flip side, we have pity. This might sound harsh, but it's a reality many men face without even realizing it. When a woman pities a man, she may still offer attention and kindness, but it's not rooted in romantic interest. Instead, it comes from a place of compassion, perhaps seeing the man as harmless, a non-threat whom she can talk to without any pressure of romantic escalation. This is often referred to as the pity zone, a not-so-coveted place where romantic prospects go to die. Here, the man is seen as a friend, or worse, invisible in terms of sexual or romantic potential. Why does this matter? Men who are unaware of these distinctions might misinterpret friendly gestures as signs of romantic interest, leading to confusion and frustration. Recognizing this can shift how you interact, ensuring you don't mistake politeness for interest. Number 2. The best option. What do you think is the best choice? Do you think she'll choose the man with the best profile? Comment your thoughts before we dive into the lesson. Another irrefutable truth I've learned about women is that the man who gets the woman will not necessarily be the man she wants or desires the most. It will be the best option that pursues her. The concept of the best option does not simply refer to a man's inherent qualities like looks or wealth, but emphasizes the significance of proactive behavior in the dating scene. This phenomenon is observable in everyday life. Consider the so-called ugly, broke, sweaty guys who might seem unlikely candidates for weekend romances, yet they frequently end up with partners. Why? Because they don't hesitate to approach women, express their interest directly, and invite them to spend time together. On the other hand, many attractive and ostensibly desirable men fail in the dating game due to passivity. Despite their good looks or impressive resumes, these men often rely too heavily on these attributes, assuming that these alone will draw women to them. However, without active engagement and clear expressions of interest, they remain just another face in the crowd. The Stoic philosophy offers a relevant insight here. Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be one. In the context of dating, this can be interpreted to mean stop contemplating how to be desirable and start engaging actively in the pursuit of partnership. Women, like anyone, respond to the choices that affect them directly, choices that are made in their presence. This means that the most decisive, engaged, and responsive man often wins favor, not necessarily the one who might objectively be considered the best in abstract terms. Number 3. She will test endlessly. Ever felt like you're constantly being quizzed in the dating world, but you can't quite figure out the questions until it's too late? You're not alone. Many men view the dating landscape as a minefield where women's actions are often perceived as unpredictable mood swings. Yet this supposed unpredictability is usually a deeper, instinctual vetting process where women, both consciously and subconsciously, assess men's suitability as long-term partners. Throughout history, women have subtly tested potential partners to uncover their true character and resilience. For example, a woman might spark a minor disagreement to observe how a man manages conflict. Does he react with heated emotion, or does he handle the situation with composure? A man's response can signal whether he possesses the emotional maturity essential for a stable, lasting relationship. Seneca, the Stoic philosopher, once stated, "A gem cannot be polished without friction, nor a man perfected without trials." This adage beautifully highlights the necessity of these challenges. These tests aren't about making life difficult, they're about confirming a man's capability to endure the natural stresses and strains of a committed partnership. The nature of these tests can vary. Some are subtle, perhaps gauging how a man treats waitstaff or reacts to a change of plans. Others might be more straightforward, probing his thoughts on future goals and personal values. Whether overt or covert, each test contributes to a woman's evaluation of a man as a potential partner. It's important to recognize that these tests are not driven by malice or manipulation. Understanding their purpose can guide men to respond more adeptly. Rather than feeling offended or annoyed, viewing these moments as opportunities to demonstrate patience, understanding, and resilience can transform potential conflicts into chances for strengthening mutual respect and deepening the relationship. What about you? Have you ever been put to the test by her? Comment on your bitter grade and share your experience. Number 4. Nice guys finish last. Nice guys finish last. This saying echoes bitterly for many men who felt the harsh pinch of rejection despite their best, kind-hearted intentions. Why does this notion persist in the dating world? It's more complex than just being too nice. Often, it's about the dynamics and misperceptions that accompany this label. The stereotype of the nice guy usually paints him as somewhat passive-aggressive, where his niceness serves as a subtle strategy rather than genuine warmth. He's the man who thinks that by being exceedingly accommodating, he will eventually win over the object of his affection. However, this tactic often backfires. Women, with their sharp sense for genuineness, can typically sense when kindness is wielded as a tool for underlying motives. This perceived insincerity often relegates the nice guy to the friend zone. Contrastingly, the archetype of the bad boy exudes assertiveness and authenticity. He's straightforward about his intentions and desires, which paradoxically makes him more alluring. His boldness and confidence aren't about disrespect, but about being transparent with his identity and intentions. He embodies the principle that real recognizes real, and in the complex dance of dating, this authenticity often attracts. For nice guys, the real issue isn't the act of kindness itself, but how it is perceived and deployed. True kindness should be an authentic part of one's character, not a calculated move in the game of love. When kindness is expected to be reciprocated with romance or intimacy, it becomes tainted. As the Stoic philosopher Seneca once said, "Wherever there is a human being, there is an opportunity for kindness," emphasizing kindness without expectations. In the realm of modern dating, men often sidelined for their niceness might need to introspect on their approach to kindness. Are they genuinely kind, or is their kindness performative, hoping to secure a particular outcome? Authentic kindness does not keep a ledger. It is given freely and generously, without looking for something in return. Thus, the secret for men finding themselves repeatedly stuck in the nice guy trap isn't to change their nature, but to ensure their keenness is heartfelt and without ulterior motives. By combining the genuine warmth of the nice guy with the clear, unapologetic authenticity of the bad boy, they can forge a persona that is both appealing and integral. This blend of true kindness and transparency is what can lead to meaningful connections where integrity isn't compromised and you don't just finish last, you don't finish at all, you continue growing. Number 5. Double standards. In today's cultural narrative, a woman asserting dominance in a relationship is often cheered on as a breakthrough against old patriarchal chains, proudly wearing the crown of empowerment. But pause for a moment. What happens when a man steers back to his traditional role as the leader? Well, he's quickly painted as the villain of the piece, a controlling monster straight out of a relationship horror story. Why the double standard? It seems only one side of the coin gets the spotlight, while the other is tossed in the shadows. This stark disparity has left a generation of men tiptoeing around their own shadows, muted into passivity, and frankly, it's doing no one any favors. Think about it. Playing the quiet game might seem like it keeps the peace, but it's really just a ticking time bomb wrapped in silence. Here's the kicker. Relationships built on the shaky foundation of one partner, diminishing themselves to please the other, are like houses built on sand. Eventually, they're going to collapse. This isn't just about power plays. It's about authenticity and mutual respect. In a genuinely healthy relationship, both parties should wield the pen equally when writing their shared story. Men, it's time to shake off the dust of outdated expectations and find a middle ground. Instead of defaulting to a passive role, why not aim for a partnership where leadership is a shared dance? After all, leading effectively in a relationship doesn't mean ruling with an iron fist, but guiding with a gentle hand and an open heart. Leadership in love should be about steering the ship together, facing storms side by side, and charting a course to mutual happiness. Remember, a true leader in any relationship is like a skilled conductor, valued not for overpowering the orchestra but for harmonizing the talents of each player to create a symphony worth remembering. So, let's redefine what it means to lead in love. Let's build relationships where both partners can soar without fearing that taking the lead might clip the other's wings. Because at the end of the day, a relationship where only one person is allowed to fly is really a solo flight that no one signed up for. Before we dive into the next lesson, make sure you've liked and subscribed to our channel so YouTube's algorithm can recommend this video to a wider audience. Thank you. Number 6. She is never platonic. One of the more contentious views in the realm of male-female relationships is the notion that there is no such thing as a truly platonic relationship between men and women. The argument is that often, when a man and a woman are just friends, there might be unacknowledged desires or suppressed intentions, especially from one side, typically the man's. This perspective suggests that many men fearing rejection or the potential loss of any relationship with the woman may choose to suppress their romantic feelings, opting instead for a platonic friendship. This is seen not as a genuine friendship but as a fallback, a safe zone where they can remain close to the person they are interested in, without risking the vulnerability that comes with expressing romantic feelings. Critics of this view often argue that men and women can indeed have purely platonic friendships without any underlying romantic tension. However, proponents, like the voice in this segment, might counter by suggesting that these friendships often have a dormant potential for romance, which could surface if circumstances were altered. They argue that many men, if given a chance, would transition the relationship to a romantic one, which casts doubt on the platonic nature of the relationship. If a man finds himself consistently befriending women to whom he is also attracted, it might be worth considering why he chooses this pattern of interaction. Is it a defense mechanism against romantic failure? A comfort zone that avoids the risks of dating? This introspection can lead to more honest interactions and perhaps a clearer strategy in how to approach relationships with women, whether to pursue romance openly or genuinely embrace a platonic stance without hidden agendas. However, acknowledging the potential for complexity and entangled motivations can lead to more profound personal insights and more authentic relationships. For men navigating these waters, it's crucial to be honest about their feelings both with themselves and their friends to ensure that they are not caught in an uncomfortable limbo of unspoken truths and unfulfilled desires. Number 7. Female pursuit. While it is true that it's a man's job to take the active role, to speak in an active voice, to lead things forward with a female, there are still going to be exceptions and times when a woman will actually chase a man. This isn't about dramatic gestures often depicted in media, like sudden declarations of love or grand romantic overtures. Rather, female pursuit tends to manifest in more subtle but significant ways, especially when the man embodies qualities that are highly desired. The reality of female pursuit is grounded not in the superficial or transient, but in a genuine attraction to men who have developed themselves into what might be considered high-value individuals. These are men who have invested in themselves across various aspects of life. They're physically fit, financially secure, well-groomed, and most importantly, confident and emotionally mature. Their attractiveness goes beyond the physical. It encompasses their ability to navigate life with competence and assurance. This kind of man who has honed his abilities and built a robust self-identity often finds that he doesn't need to chase women with the desperation that others might. They make the first move, but they do it in such a way that it allows the woman to feel secure and pursued, yet still leaves room for her to reciprocate the interest actively. This dynamic where women chase men flips traditional dating scripts, but is increasingly common in a society that values self-assured, accomplished men. For instance, when a woman cancels plans, but then sends mixed signals indicating she might still be interested, she's effectively testing how the man will react. Will he chase desperately, or will he demonstrate that his time and attention are valuable, thereby increasing his desirability? Understanding this aspect of dating is crucial for men. It underscores the importance of personal development and self-respect. As the Stoic philosopher Epictetus said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." In the context of dating, being master of oneself, self-assured, well-rounded, and emotionally balanced, can shift the traditional roles of pursuit. Number 8. Most women lack empathy. Is it just me, or have you noticed how empathy sometimes seems like a one-way street in relationships? There's a common myth casting men as the stoic ones, supposedly immune to emotional pain. This myth fosters an empathy gap that isn't just anecdotal. It's deeply rooted in societal norms and expectations. From an early age, men hear the refrain "man up," a push towards hiding their emotions as a display of strength. This cultural script affects not only men, but also influences how women perceive men's emotions. When men show vulnerability, they not only battle their own ingrained stigmas, but also often encounter a lack of empathy from women, who might view such expressions as undesirable or weak due to the same societal conditioning. This doesn't imply that women naturally lack empathy. Instead, it highlights how social norms can distort our perceptions and expressions of empathy, a sort of learned insensitivity that needs to be unlearned. Both men and women can exhibit profound empathy, but the roles they've been taught often need substantial revision. Addressing this requires recognizing that men too are fully human, equipped with a rich array of emotions. It calls for a collective effort to cultivate a culture where emotional openness is not merely tolerated but celebrated. How do we bridge this empathy gap? The journey begins with dialogue. We need open, honest conversations about emotional needs and dismantling outdated myths surrounding masculinity and vulnerability. Encouraging men to share their emotional experiences without fear of judgment is crucial. For women, it involves actively listening and affirming these moments of vulnerability, seeing them not as weakness, but as displays of bravery and authenticity. To every man out there, your emotions are legitimate and require no defense. To every woman, your capacity for empathy can profoundly impact a man's life. Let's redefine strength, not as hiding weaknesses, but as the bravery to be authentic despite societal pressures. By enhancing empathy, we don't just improve romantic relationships, but all human interactions. True relationship strength is gauged by how well we understand and resonate with each other's deepest concerns and greatest aspirations. Let's champion empathy as the standard, transforming it into our collective superpower. Number 9. Bridges and skyscrapers. An intriguing metaphor often tossed around in discussions about motivation and ambition suggests that every bridge, skyscraper, invention, book, and movie was created by a man who was trying to get women's attention. The truth, harsh and often unspoken, is that the desire to be desirable is a powerful motivator for men. Consider the metaphor of constructing bridges or skyscrapers. These are not just feats of engineering, but also symbols of reaching higher, striving further, and overcoming obstacles, qualities that are traditionally admired. However, when it comes to personal happiness and fulfillment, especially in romantic relationships, these external achievements might mask an inner void if not aligned with genuine self-improvement and emotional intelligence. Many men find themselves pursuing success in various forms, hoping it will make them more attractive to women. Yet they may neglect the emotional and interpersonal skills that truly matter in a relationship. This dissonance can lead to dissatisfaction, where no amount of external success compensates for a lack of intimate, personal connections. The challenge then is not just to build and create, but to understand and connect. Marcus Aurelius once noted, "Very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself, in your way of thinking." This wisdom suggests that while striving for external achievements, men must also cultivate their inner world, developing empathy, kindness, emotional availability, and genuine interest in others. Eventually, the right girl is going to come into your life. Just be yourself. Just focus on yourself, King. Build up your life. Number 10. Boss and employee. In the vast expanse of relationship dynamics, one particular analogy often stands out: the comparison of romantic partnerships to the roles of boss and employee, or king and queen. This metaphor underscores a controversial yet traditional view on the balance of power in relationships, suggesting that in every partnership there must be a clear leader and a clear supporter. The idea here hinges on the notion that if a man does not assert his natural dominant role, the woman will take advantage of the situation, steering the relationship according to her will and potentially turning it into her personal property. This scenario paints a picture of relationships as power struggles, where maintaining dominance ensures stability and prevents exploitation. This approach can be contentious and is heavily influenced by traditional views on gender roles, where men are typically seen as the leaders or the bosses in a relationship. However, while this model may hold some practical benefits in certain contexts, it's crucial to approach it with caution. Relationships based on mutual respect, understanding, and equality often yield healthier and more sustainable outcomes. The danger in a boss-employee dynamic is that it can suppress the individuality and voice of the partner playing the subordinate role, leading to dissatisfaction, resentment, and a lack of genuine connection. If one chooses to view a relationship through this lens, it's essential to ensure that the leadership exercised is not authoritarian, but rather a type of leadership that is inclusive, considerate, and respects the autonomy and opinions of the other partner. True leadership in a relationship involves guiding the partnership towards common goals and shared happiness, rather than dictating or dominating. For those who resonate with the idea of taking a leading role in a relationship, it might be beneficial to draw on the Stoic idea of leadership, which focuses on wisdom, justice, courage, and moderation. Stoicism teaches that true leaders are those who lead by example, who can control their passions and emotions, and who treat others with fairness and respect. In this way, a man can be a leader in a relationship, not by imposing his will, but by fostering an environment where both partners feel supported, valued, and connected. Moreover, modern relationship counseling often emphasizes the importance of communication and negotiation. Even in scenarios where one partner takes a slightly more dominant role in decision-making, it should always be with the consent and agreement of the other partner. ensuring that both members of the relationship feel they are contributing equally to the partnership's success. Relationships thrive not when one person takes control at the expense of the other, but when both partners work together, each playing to their strengths, to build a union that is greater than the sum of its parts. Number 11. The female attitude. Navigating the complex landscape of male-female relationships can often feel like maneuvering through a minefield of emotional tests. This phenomenon, often referred to as testing, can manifest in various ways and is a critical aspect of the dating experience that many men find perplexing and frustrating. At the heart of these tests is the female desire to probe for emotional and psychological depth in their male partners. Women, either instinctively or through learned behavior, tend to test men to see how they handle stress, annoyance, or direct challenges to their boundaries. For example, consider a scenario where a woman might intentionally provoke a mild confrontation or throw a curveball during a conversation to see how her partner reacts. Does he lose his temper quickly? Does he withdraw or shut down? Or does he address the issue calmly, assertively, and constructively? These reactions provide deep insights into his character and potential as a long-term partner. The frustration for many men arises when they perceive these tests as unnecessary drama or games. It can be particularly challenging when these tests come at times of high stress or when they seem petty or trivial, like the scenario of being irritated by external distractions while trying to focus on a task. However, understanding that these moments are opportunities for demonstrating competence and composure can transform how these tests are perceived. It's crucial for men to recognize that these tests are not just obstacles, but are, in fact, pathways to deeper trust and respect in the relationship. The Stoic philosophy offers a valuable perspective here, embodied in the principle that the obstacle is the way. Instead of viewing a woman's tests as nuisances, they can be seen as opportunities to demonstrate qualities like patience, understanding, and the ability to remain composed under pressure. Responding effectively requires a balance of assertiveness and empathy. For instance, if a woman tests a man's patience, it's important for him to acknowledge his feelings, but also to communicate them in a way that is respectful and constructive. Saying something like, "I understand this is important to you and I want to address it, but let's discuss it calmly," can be far more effective than reacting with irritation or anger. Furthermore, setting boundaries is also crucial. If the testing becomes disrespectful or detrimental to the relationship, it's important to communicate clearly and firmly, drawing lines not out of anger, but from a place of self-respect and mutual respect can help maintain the health and longevity of the relationship. Number 12. If she likes you. Here's a dose of reality that might be a bit tough to digest. If she's into you, you won't have to wonder. She'll make an effort to see you, chat with you, and answer your messages promptly. It's as straightforward as that. The sting comes when we realize that the fervor we hope for simply might not be reciprocated. Let's unpack this with a scenario that might resonate with many. Picture this. You've met someone special. Eagerly, you send texts, dial their number, and propose outings. Yet, the replies are hit or miss, the chats feel like a monologue, and those plans, they're indefinitely on hold. This might lead you to ponder, is she really swamped, or is she just not that into me? Typically, when someone is truly interested, they carve out time no matter their schedule. This isn't about morphing into a love detective or trying to decode every text or gesture. Rather, it's about heeding the clear signs of interest, or the apparent absence of it. If you're perpetually analyzing and reanalyzing her every response or lack thereof, it's probably time to face the painful truth that the connection you're seeking might not be there. This can be especially tricky for those who find social cues challenging, including some individuals on the autism spectrum. If that's you, remember, you're not alone, and deciphering these signals is a skill that you can develop through persistence and proper support. For anyone struggling to navigate these social intricacies, tapping into resources that provide clear guidance on interpreting signs of interest could be invaluable. Expanding the view, this insight isn't limited to just romantic endeavors. It's a vital life skill. whether it's friends, work associates, or potential partners. Recognizing and accepting the level of interest others have can save you both time and emotional energy. So, when in doubt, remember this simple truth. Actions speak louder than words. If she's truly interested, her actions will declare it loud and clear. No response to your messages? That silence might be telling you all you need to know. Ghosted after what seemed like a fantastic date? Perhaps the magic wasn't mutual. Embracing these realities can steer you away from fruitless pursuits and guide you towards more meaningful interactions. And there you have it, gentlemen. The 12 harshest truths about women that too many men learn far too late. Navigating the complexities of female nature isn't just about surviving dating or maintaining a relationship. It's about thriving in them by understanding deeply and acting wisely. If this video opened your eyes or gave you something to think about, don't keep it to yourself. Hit that like button if you found it useful. Share it with friends who might benefit from these insights, and subscribe to our channel for more straightforward advice on navigating the intricate world of relationships. Your comments are invaluable. Let us know your thoughts below, or share any experiences that could help others in our community learn and grow. Keep striving, keep learning, and see you in the next video. 12 things you should not do when dating younger women to ensure success. Older men are like gold dust on the dating scene right now. From Salt and Pepper George Clooney's to Silver Fox Harrison Ford's, young women are swooning over smooth older men more than ever. These days, the idea of young women dating older, often significantly older men barely raises an eyebrow. However, just because you were her age once doesn't mean dating a young woman is always smooth sailing. Certain guidelines must be followed. No matter the age gap, here are 12 things you should not do when dating younger women to ensure success and avoid common pitfalls. Number 1. You should not try to impress her with money. Let's dive into a common concern. You've worked hard, built a solid career, and now you're seeking a genuine connection. But how can you be sure she's interested in you and not just your wallet? It's tempting to think that spending money will win her over. Fancy dinners, luxurious gifts, they seem like ways to show you care and make her feel special. But what if she only sees you as a financial resource? Where does that leave you? Imagine always being the one to pay for everything, constantly wondering if her affection is genuine or just a transaction. It's not a pleasant feeling. You don't want to become her mobile bank, and you certainly don't want to waste your time on a relationship that lacks true depth. Even if you have substantial wealth and 99 women walk away, you shouldn't flaunt your riches to please the 100th. This isn't just about your money, it's about finding someone who values you for who you are. Think of it as a test to discover the one who sees beyond your bank account. So, what's the solution? Successful men don't rely on their wallets to build connections. Instead, they focus on meaningful conversations and genuine moments. They reveal their true selves, their intelligence, values, and rich inner lives. These are the qualities that truly attract and keep a woman interested. Think about it. You deserve a relationship where the woman values you for who you are, not what you can provide financially. If you've ever worried about women being attracted only to your money, share your thoughts. Comment 1 if this has ever crossed your mind. Number 2, you should not try to match her age. Let's talk about another classic blunder older guys make when dating younger women, trying to match her age. You're with someone in her 20s, and you feel the urge to act and speak like a 20-something. You might even start dressing like her peers. But guys, this is a big mistake. Many older men think they need to mimic the younger crowd to fit in. They'll ask what she's into and pretend they're into the same things. This comes off as needy and insecure. You end up agreeing with everything she says, not because you genuinely do, but because you think it will make her like you more. This desire to blend in and seem younger only highlights the age difference you're trying to downplay. Here's the thing, your age is actually an asset. It's what makes you stand out. Younger women are often drawn to older men because of the maturity and experience they bring to the table. You have a level of wisdom, stability, and confidence that younger guys usually don't. These are qualities that are inherently attractive. By trying to act younger, you're diminishing these valuable traits and essentially putting her on a pedestal. Think about it this way. Marcus Aurelius once said, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be one. Embrace who you are and the experiences that have shaped you. Instead of pretending to be something you're not, showcase the qualities that make you unique. Your life experience, your confidence, and your sense of self are what truly set you apart." Gentlemen, remember that authenticity is key. Be true to yourself and let your genuine qualities shine. This will not only attract the right person but also create a deeper, more meaningful connection. If you've ever felt the pressure to act younger to fit in, share your thoughts. Comment, too, if this resonates with you. Number 3. You should not put her on a pedestal. Let's explore another common mistake older men often make when dating younger women: putting her on a pedestal. Imagine a gentleman in his 40s, 50s, or 60s meeting a younger woman and instantly treating her like royalty. He's constantly catering to her, metaphorically speaking, treating her as if she's a superstar and he's just an admirer. While she might enjoy the attention momentarily, this approach doesn't build a lasting connection. He might assume that because she's younger, attractive, and has many options, she holds all the power. Meanwhile, he's feeling older, possibly out of practice if he's recently out of a long-term relationship, and he's elevating her to an almost untouchable status. Here's the important point. Women can sense this dynamic immediately. The moment you start elevating her to this lofty status, she notices. Women are incredibly perceptive about power dynamics in relationships. When a woman realizes you're looking up at her, she often starts looking down at you. This subconscious shift can quickly diminish attraction. Why does this happen to older men? And how do some avoid this pitfall altogether? It comes down to understanding who the real prize is. Successful older men know they have a lot to offer. They don't see the younger woman as the be-all and end-all. Think about it. Flip the script and recognize your value. You bring experience, stability, and wisdom to the table. These are qualities younger men often lack. Embrace your role as a confident, mature man who knows his worth. You don't need to put her on a pedestal to gain her affection. Remember, confidence is essential. Women are drawn to men who understand their value and aren't afraid to show it. When you treat her as an equal, not a superior, you foster mutual respect and attraction. The best relationships are built on equal footing, where both partners appreciate each other's worth. Gentlemen, have you ever found yourself putting a woman on a pedestal? Share your thoughts, comment 4 if this resonates with you. Number 4. You should not overcompliment her. Avoid overcomplimenting your date, especially in the getting to know you phase. Excessive praise can come across as insincere and may raise red flags. Be cautious if she is also complimenting you excessively. She might be saying things she thinks you want to hear. It's essential to be mindful of her motives. Consider this. Genuine connections take time to develop, and true feelings of admiration and affection grow naturally. Overloading her with compliments too soon can make you seem desperate or disingenuous. It's important to build a foundation of trust and respect first. Furthermore, be aware that not everyone has pure intentions. Just as you should avoid over-complimenting her, be cautious of anyone who seems too eager to shower you with praise. Some people might use flattery as a way to manipulate or deceive. For instance, if a girl says, "I love you," after the second date, be cautious because what she might really mean is, "I love your wallet." Trust your instincts and pay attention to any warning signs. If something feels off, listen to your gut. It's better to move on and find someone who genuinely appreciates you for who you are. Remember, love and trust are built over time through genuine actions and mutual respect, not through excessive flattery. A personal radar for insincerity, or as some might call it, a douchebag radar, can be quite helpful. Always be attuned to your instincts. If a situation feels wrong, it's better to move on, get out of there, or make a phone call to excuse yourself. Keep your compliments sincere and measured during the early stages of dating. Focus on building a genuine connection based on mutual respect and understanding. Be mindful of excessive flattery from both sides, and trust your instincts if something doesn't feel right. Gentlemen, Have you ever experienced or given excessive compliments in the early stages of dating? Share your thoughts. Comment 4 if this resonates with you. Number 5. You should not try to act like a mentor or teacher. Many older men stumble into a common trap when dating younger women, becoming a mentor or teacher. Initially, it might seem like offering advice and guidance is a great way to connect, but this approach can quickly backfire. When you start a relationship by giving career tips, personal development advice, or everyday guidance, you risk positioning yourself as a mentor. This dynamic often creates a platonic atmosphere that's hard to shift into a romantic one. Once you're seen as a mentor, breaking out of that mold can be challenging. Women who value a good mentor might hesitate to risk the relationship for romance, fearing it might lead to awkwardness or loss of support. To avoid getting stuck in the mentor role, focus on gradually introducing romantic elements into your interactions. This doesn't mean abruptly changing your approach or being overly forward. Instead, balance your friendly advice with subtle flirtation. Compliments, light teasing, and gentle touches can signal your interest in a way that complements your supportive demeanor. For example, if you've been discussing her career goals, mix in playful remarks or genuine compliments. A light touch on the arm or a flirtatious comment can indicate that your interest goes beyond platonic support. This transition helps redefine the relationship from mentor-student to potential romantic partners. Flirtation should be subtle and sophisticated, not overtly sexual or aggressive. The goal is to show that your interest extends beyond just being a supportive figure in her life. Simple actions like holding her hand during a conversation, offering sincere compliments, or initiating friendly but slightly suggestive conversations can shift the dynamic. As the Stoic philosopher Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." How you handle the shift from friendly advice to flirtation can significantly impact the direction of your relationship. If you continue to play the mentor role without introducing any romantic elements, you risk being stuck in the platonic zone. In summary, while offering guidance and support is valuable, it's essential to transition from mentor to romantic interest. Avoid pigeonholing yourself into the mentor role by incorporating flirtatious elements into your interactions. This will create a more balanced dynamic, allowing for the potential of a romantic relationship to flourish. Share your thoughts. Comment 5 if this resonates with you. Number 6. You should not change your plans for her. Avoid changing your plans for her, especially at the last minute. It doesn't reflect well on you if you cancel on others to be with her. Even if you have an overseas trip planned, go. This is an excellent opportunity to get out, catch up with friends, and make plans that show her you have a fulfilling life of your own. When you keep your commitments, it sends a clear message. Your time is valuable, and you have a life that she needs to respect. She will quickly learn that if she wants to spend time with you, she needs to schedule it in advance. Last-minute changes shouldn't be acceptable. This demonstrates that you have a social life, are confident, and have your priorities straight, which is incredibly attractive to a potential partner. Moreover, relying on this new person for your happiness is a path to disappointment. Find your inner happiness first. You must understand that you do not need to be with her to feel complete. While it's enjoyable to spend time together, don't become overly attached. If the relationship ends, you will be okay without her in your life. Remember, attachment often leads to suffering. As the philosopher Seneca said, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more that is poor." This means that your happiness should come from within, not from your relationship status. By maintaining your independence and continuing to pursue your own interests and plans, you show her that you are a strong, self-sufficient individual. This confidence and self-reliance are what truly make you attractive. In summary, don't change your plans for her, especially not at the last minute. Show her that you have a life that she needs to fit into, not the other way around. By doing so, you'll create a healthier, more balanced dynamic that respects both your time and your individuality. Gentlemen, maintaining your own plans and priorities is crucial. Have you ever felt pressured to change your plans for someone else? Share your thoughts. Comment 6 if this resonates with you. Number 7. You should not rush to her place. One frequent error older men make when dating younger women is rushing to her place at the drop of a hat. The urgency to spend every possible moment together can lead to poor decisions and unnecessary risks. Speeding to her place might make you feel like you're gaining a few extra minutes with her, but it's not worth the potential dangers like fines, accidents, or causing injuries. Reflect on this. What are you really rushing for? Those extra few minutes won't make a significant difference in the long run, and sometimes you might arrive only to find she isn't even home yet. It's important to keep yourself in check and avoid unnecessary haste. She will still be there waiting for you, provided you're not habitually late, which could eventually frustrate her. If the relationship is meant to be, there's no need to rush. You have your whole future ahead of you to spend time together. By showing that you value your safety and time, you also show her that you are a responsible and considerate partner. Patience and reliability are key qualities that contribute to a stable and lasting relationship. In summary, don't rush to her place impulsively. Plan your visits thoughtfully and respect both your time and hers. This approach not only ensures your safety, but also sets a positive tone for your relationship, emphasizing patience and mutual respect. Gentlemen, have you ever found yourself rushing to meet someone without considering the consequences? Share your thoughts. Comment 7 if this resonates with you. Number 8. You should not overcompliment her. Avoid overcomplimenting your date, especially in the getting to know you phase. Excessive praise can come across as insincere and may raise red flags. Be cautious if she is also complimenting you excessively. She might be saying things she thinks you want to hear. It's essential to be mindful of her motives. Consider this. Genuine connections take time to develop, and true feelings of admiration and affection grow naturally. Overloading her with compliments too soon can make you seem desperate or disingenuous. It's important to build a foundation of trust and respect first. Furthermore, be aware that not everyone has pure intentions. Just as you should avoid over-complimenting her, be cautious of anyone who seems too eager to shower you with praise. Some people might use flattery as a way to manipulate or deceive. For instance, if a girl says, "I love you" after the second date, be cautious because what she might really mean is, "I love your wallet." Trust your instincts and pay attention to any warning signs. If something feels off, listen to your gut. It's better to move on and find someone who genuinely appreciates you for who you are. Remember, love and trust are built over time through genuine actions and mutual respect, not through excessive flattery. A personal radar for insincerity, or as some might call it, a douchebag radar, can be quite helpful. Always be attuned to your instincts. If a situation feels wrong, it's better to move on, get out of there, or make a phone call to excuse yourself. Keep your compliments sincere and measured during the early stages of dating. Focus on building a genuine connection based on mutual respect and understanding. Be mindful of excessive flattery from both sides, and trust your instincts if something doesn't feel right. Gentlemen, have you ever experienced or given excessive compliments in the early stages of dating? Share your thoughts. Comment 8 if this resonates with you. Number 9. You should not talk about your future together too early. One frequent pitfall older men encounter when dating younger women is the urge to discuss the future prematurely. While it's natural to think about long-term possibilities, bringing up future plans too early can be overwhelming and potentially scare her off. As we get older, the desire for a family and long-term commitment often grows stronger. However, this urgency can be off-putting for younger partners who may not be ready for such serious discussions. Talking about future commitments too early can create unnecessary pressure and may lead her to feel overwhelmed. Consider this. Discussing significant future plans within the first few months of dating can make you seem overly eager or even desperate. It's essential to take the time to truly get to know each other before diving into long-term discussions. Rushing into these conversations might make her feel like you're moving too fast, causing discomfort and hesitation. Think about it from her perspective. If you start talking about your future together after only a few dates, she might feel pressured and uncertain. This can lead to her pulling away even if she genuinely likes you. It's important to let the relationship develop naturally and avoid forcing the topic of the future too soon. A good rule of thumb is to wait at least 6 months before discussing significant future plans. This time frame allows both of you to understand each other better and see if your relationship has the potential for long-term success. Reflecting on this, it might seem extreme to think about assigning her as your superannuation beneficiary after only a few months of dating. Such decisions require a deep understanding and trust that can only be built over time. In these moments, it's crucial to show her your calmness and patience. Demonstrating that you are willing to let the relationship grow organically without rushing into future commitments can make her feel more comfortable and secure. Even after a year, there can still be much to learn about each other. Allow your relationship to grow naturally and let future discussions happen when both of you feel comfortable and ready. Not discussing the future too soon also protects you. Not everyone has genuine intentions, and being cautious can help you identify those who might not have your best interests at heart. It's not that the older we get, the more we need to rush. Rather, as we age, we must be more careful. We have fewer opportunities to make mistakes compared to younger people. Take your time to ensure that the person you're with is truly right for you. This careful approach helps in building a strong, trusting relationship that has a higher chance of lasting. By being patient, you also give yourself the opportunity to observe and understand her true intentions and character. So, avoid discussing your future together too early. Focus on enjoying the present and building a strong foundation. Show her that you are calm and patient, giving your relationship the time it needs to develop before diving into long-term plans. This approach will not only make her feel more comfortable, but also safeguard your own emotional well-being. Gentlemen, have you ever talked about the future too soon and regretted it? Share your experiences. Comment 9 if this resonates with you. Number 10. You should not neglect your own life. Ever heard the saying, you can't pour from an empty cup? When it comes to dating, especially with a significant age difference, this couldn't be more true. Neglecting your own life to focus solely on your younger partner might seem romantic at first, but it can quickly become a recipe for disaster. Imagine this. You've started dating a vibrant, energetic young woman. She introduces you to new music, new hobbies, and a whole new social circle. Enthralled by this exciting change, you begin to drift away from your own interests and friends. You skip your weekly poker night with the guys, stop working on that classic car in the garage, and even neglect your career ambitions. Slowly, you start to lose the essence of what made you attractive in the first place, your individuality and confidence. Neglecting your life isn't just about hobbies and interests, it extends to friendships and personal well-being too. When you start neglecting your friends, you're cutting off a vital support system. These are the people who've known you through thick and thin, who offer you perspective and grounding. Maintaining these relationships isn't just good for you, it's also healthy for your romantic relationship. It shows your partner that you have a full, rich life outside of her, making you more intriguing and well-rounded. Consider your career and personal growth. Does your younger partner encourage you to chase your ambitions, or are you putting them on hold to cater to her needs? Remember, part of what made you attractive to her was likely your drive and accomplishments. Continuing to pursue your goals demonstrates self-respect and ambition, traits that are universally appealing. Moreover, neglecting your life can lead to resentment. If you give up too much, you might start to feel like you're missing out or sacrificing too much for the relationship. This can breed discontent and dissatisfaction, which could eventually undermine your connection with your partner. It's essential to take a proactive approach. Ensure you're nurturing your passions, friendships, and career. Share your life with her, but also keep a part of it just for you. Balance is key. Plan regular outings with friends, set aside time for your hobbies, and stay committed to your professional goals. This not only enriches your life, but also keeps the relationship dynamic and balanced. Don't let your love life eclipse your personal life. A healthy relationship thrives when both partners maintain their individuality. After all, the best relationships are those where two whole individuals come together to share their lives, not lose them. As we get older, it's important to remember that while the desire for a meaningful connection grows, maintaining our own life and interests is what truly keeps us grounded and attractive. Gentlemen, have you ever found yourself neglecting your own life for a relationship? Share your thoughts. Comment 10 if this resonates with you. Comment 10 if this. Number 11. You should not hide your past. When dating younger women, it's important to be open about your past. Whether you've been divorced, have kids, or even have had a long stint in an asylum for the criminally insane, hey, no one's perfect. Being honest about your life experiences can foster a deeper connection and mutual understanding. You might worry that because she hasn't shared similar experiences, she wouldn't relate to your life or issues. However, youth doesn't equate to a lack of empathy or emotional intelligence. Younger women can offer a fresh perspective and surprising wisdom. By opening up about your past, you allow her to understand you better and contribute to the relationship in meaningful ways. Hiding significant aspects of your life can create barriers in your relationship. Being transparent about your past shows that you trust her and value her opinion. This honesty can strengthen your bond and pave the way for a more authentic relationship. Moreover, discussing your past openly can help her see the real you beyond the surface. Remember, it's not just about sharing the good times, but also the challenges you faced. Discussing your past struggles and how you overcame them can be inspiring and show her your resilience and growth. It also demonstrates that you're comfortable with who you are and where you've been, which is an attractive quality. It's important to recognize that being open about your past doesn't just benefit her understanding of you, it also empowers you. When you feel comfortable enough to discuss your feelings and experiences, it reflects a level of self-awareness and confidence that is very appealing. It shows that you're not afraid to be vulnerable and that you trust her with your story. So, don't hide your past, embrace it and share it with her. You might be surprised by the empathy and support she offers. This openness can lead to a deeper, more fulfilling relationship where both partners feel understood and valued. Gentlemen, have you ever held back parts of your past and found it affected your relationship? Share your experiences. Comment 11 if this resonates with you. Number 12. You should not be too nice too soon. A common mistake older men make when dating younger women is being overly nice too quickly. Showering her with gifts, treating her to meals and dedicating all your time to her might seem like the way to win her heart, but it can often have the opposite effect. Before you invest your time, money and energy, it's crucial to get to know her and determine whether she is truly worth your effort. Being too generous too soon can set unrealistic expectations and might attract those who are only interested in what you can provide financially. Ensure that the relationship is balanced. Don't feel obligated to pay for everything. Instead, encourage her to contribute her share. This could mean splitting the bill, taking turns paying, or her occasionally treating you. This practice helps reveal her true intentions early on and prevents you from being taken advantage of. It might feel a bit uncomfortable when the bill arrives, but this discomfort is minor compared to discovering later that she was only with you for financial benefits. Early on, it's better to understand her genuine interest in you rather than later down the track when emotions are more invested. Also, remember that being too nice and overly accommodating can sometimes be perceived as a lack of confidence. Women appreciate men who are kind and considerate, but also respect themselves and their boundaries. By ensuring that you don't go overboard with niceties, you're demonstrating that you value yourself and expect mutual respect in the relationship. For example, if you always insist on paying for everything, she might start seeing you as a provider rather than an equal partner. Balance is key. Show her that you're generous, but also that you expect reciprocity and genuine interest. As we get older, the urgency to find a meaningful relationship can sometimes cloud our judgment, making us overly eager to please. However, it's important to remember that genuine connections are built on mutual respect and understanding, not on how many gifts or meals you provide. So, don't be too nice too soon. Take the time to get to know her, ensure the relationship is balanced, and be mindful of her intentions. This approach will help you build a healthier, more genuine connection. Gentlemen, have you ever found yourself being too nice too soon and regretted it? Share your experiences. Comment 12 if this resonates with you. Resonates. Number 13. You should not expect too much. One thing older men often overlook when dating younger women is managing their expectations. It's easy to assume that younger women will always be energetic, open-minded, and adaptable. However, expecting too much can lead to disappointment. Some older men express frustration that women their age are too sedentary or set in their ways. While it's true that younger women may bring a fresh perspective and energy, it's important to remember that 20-somethings can be just as lazy and stubborn as anyone else. They too can have their own set ways and preferences. It's crucial to approach the relationship with realistic expectations. Don't idealize younger women based on their age alone. Each individual is unique with their own habits and personality traits. By expecting her to always be dynamic and flexible, you may set yourself up for frustration when she exhibits normal human behavior, such as wanting a quiet night in or having strong opinions on certain topics. Instead of holding on to high expectations, focus on getting to know her as a person. Understand her likes, dislikes, and quirks. Appreciate her for who she is rather than what you imagine a younger woman should be. This approach will not only help you build a more authentic connection, but also reduce potential misunderstandings and conflicts. Being aware of your own expectations and adjusting them can significantly improve the quality of your relationship. It's essential to recognize that younger women, just like older ones, can have moments of stubbornness or laziness. Embrace these moments as part of her individuality and cherish the real person she is. In any relationship, it's the genuine connection and mutual respect that matter most. Don't let unrealistic expectations cloud your judgment or affect your relationship dynamics. Keep an open mind and enjoy the journey of getting to know her without projecting your desires onto her. Thank you for joining us today. Remember, successful relationships are built on understanding, respect, and genuine connections. If you found this video helpful, make sure to hit that like button. Share your thoughts or experiences in the comments. Your input could help others facing similar challenges. And don't forget to subscribe for more insights and tips. Thanks for watching and see you in the next video.